Hello and welcome to this month's episode. Now, as of the 6th of March, we have just entered the Yin Wood Rabbit month. And in this episode, I want to give you some of the key highlights of the March energy forecast. But also, I want to focus particularly on how to move through a clash month with calm and mindfulness. So why clash month? And for whom that March is considered a clash month? This is what I'm going to show you in the next slides. So if you are listening to the Feng Shui Serenity podcast, you can always tune into the YouTube to have a look of the March monthly chart, because this is every month that when we look at the energy forecast, we look at what point the energy has changed. So if you guys watching the YouTube, you will see that the 8 characters within the March energy, Yin Wood Rabbit month. Okay, so for those of you who knows a little bit of the 5 elements or learn the charts with me, learn the buds with me, what can you actually identify within these 8 elements? What is the unique things or what is unusual about this month? So what is unusual about this month is actually you will notice that out of the 8 characters, we have only 2 elements, the water and the wood elements in this month's energy. So this becomes really interesting because when we're looking at the relationship between the wood and water, and most of you probably already know, it is in a harmonious relationship because water produces the wood, water grows the wood. So the wood will feel nourished by the water, okay? And there's also a lot of rainwater in here as well. That's the yin water there. And especially, you know, that we have the yin wood and the yang wood, both wood elements in there. But regardless, this month, the wood element is super strong because it's supported by the water element. And if you're looking at the month pillar, or even the year pillar within the rabbit sign, that if you know the hidden element within the rabbit, it's 100% pure element, and that is the yin wood hidden within the rabbit. This also means the yin wood is deeply rooted. It's very strong, very solid. Think of the grass. It's very, very hard to completely remove its root. And also the yin wood element is considered a master of survivalist. And this brings one of the key themes or the insight of March energy theme, that is yin wood is also the element of future vision, because from the traditional Chinese medicine perspective, it represents the eyes and the liver. It really represents that future vision. Okay, so this month you will see things, or I should say events, people, circumstance will show up and will reveal certain things for you. Now come back to the clash month. And we all know, or probably you all know, that the clash animal sign for 2023 is the rooster sign. So the month's element also is showing, you'll see the rabbit sign is repeated in the month's pillar. This also means that for people who have the rooster sign in their chart anywhere, year, month, day, or hour pillar, you have rooster, Obviously, the meaning is slightly different. And you will also be delivered certain messages during the month of March, okay? As I mentioned, future vision. And in combination with the clash month, this month is going to be quite a revelation for most of us, particularly for people who have the rooster in their chart. Okay, so when we're actually talking about a clash month, it's not necessarily, or don't think that is actually good or bad. You know, most people think clash month is not good. It can create a certain shift. It can create a certain disturbance if you're not prepared. But I assume most of you who are watching this already know. So this episode is really to helping you to not only aware that this month is your clash month, but how you can actually turn this month, this actually particularly time that will provide you the future vision and make the most of it and take the advantage and to really gain some clarity. So what I'm about to share with you in the how you can move through this month with calm and mindfulness, there are 3 techniques. And these 3 techniques I shared exclusively with my Wealth Alchemy students same time last year during the month of March, also a rabbit month. And it was really interesting. Last year, March 2022 was actually share the same element, yin water sitting on yin wood. So you will listen to the recording next. And so the energy is very, very similar. And I want you to hopefully, you know, that what I have actually covered last year will still be relevant this year for you. Okay. And enjoy the recording next.
And I think some of you might feel this energy too. And this is one of the main reasons I want to just pop in here and share this. So if you do find moving through this month's energy is very difficult, you are not alone. So if you're looking at the stem and branch of this month's pillar, which is yin water sitting on rabbit. So yin water supports the rabbit. Rabbit belongs to the wood energy. So water nourishes the wood. The wood energy is very, very strong. And the dominant emotion of wood is anger and frustration. So this has been showing up in my world a lot. Lots of impatience, lots of frustrations. And usually I can actually carry on with things very calmly and nothing can affect me much. But this month I find quite difficult, and most of the time I feel my productivity has reduced significantly because I'm not together, right? I feel really scattered. So most of the time I'm feeling anxious because I am not really moving through my to-do list. Most of the time I'm in this anxious emotion, which is very low vibration, right? And you also feel not motivated to get up and do things. You simply just sit there and worry about. And this can become such a vicious circle, right? And we all know that. And I find when you are in a low vibrational state, that you also tend to have accidents or bump into things very easily. So one afternoon, I turned this corner, which I did millions of times, never had any problem. And I think I turned too tight and my back wheel was just, knock on the gutter. And anyway, I thought that's enough is enough. I need to really, really stop and reflect. And rather than madly running around trying to do things, but I'm not making any progress. So when I was looking at my chart, and I suddenly realized, oh my God, how can I forget this is my clash month? I should have been fully aware of this. And this is the number one thing I want to share with you guys. Awareness, awareness, and awareness. And as soon as I starting to see why, it gives me a relief from the stress. And we all know when we feel stressed, we are not really high vibrational, because your emotions are a direct indicator of how much you are resisting or allowing. So when you are in an energy of joy, you allowing yourself to move through things very quickly. You're very productive. You're doing things with joy, with passion, and the result is shining through. So the closer you are to the emotion of joy, the more easily you can attract what you want, and you can also accomplish what you intend to do. So this clash month is actually clashing with my day pillar. So the rooster is sitting in my day pillar. So for some of you, March is your clash month. I'm just looking through your list. I have your day pillar here. Danielle, Yin, Fire, Rooster. So this rooster or this month is also clashing with your day pillar. So you might be feeling this. Lisa, Yin, Wood, Rooster. Susan, Yin, Fire, Rooster. Rachel, Yin, Wood, Rooster. Joanne, Yin, Earth, Rooster. Rebecca, Yin, Metal, Rooster. Ross, Yin, Earth, Rooster. So lots of you, the feeling is like you suddenly feel yourself is being knocked off the perch, because this is your foundation. Remember, the animal sign sits in the branch, earthly branches, is the foundation, is the earth, is the soil, and you're this tree, right? So the rabbit comes in, is attacking the rooster. So this foundation becomes unstable. What we need to do is, first of all, is to be aware. Because as soon as we are aware of the situation, we know when to surrender. And then we know how to take up the next step, which is also important, is to strengthen yourself. Day pillar is about the self, right? That's why I didn't feel I am steady this month. My energy is not steady. So as soon as I know this, I immediately have my plan in place, because I always have a plan when I'm going through clash month. And this is where I want to share my plan, and so you can have your plan too. Everyone's plan can be different. It depends on what's your preference, but the theory, the structure is the same. Number one is awareness, awareness, and awareness. To be aware of this, so you know, you will know, you can actually observe this energy coming through, and you become an observer, like Eckhart Tolle talked about. When you become an observer, you won't be able to, or you will not be caught up in the emotions, right? So as soon as I'm aware of this, I become an observer. I start to observe how I behave, what I do, what I say, what is my emotion. I starting to see what Grace is doing, rather than I'm completely immersed in this situation without knowing it. And number two is, I mentioned, you start to strengthen the self. For me, the strengthen the self has several layers. First of all, I will strengthen my physical self, physical body. So usually what I do is I lean into the traditional Chinese medicine. And I know, being a metal, wood is always clash with metal, right? So wood represents liver. And usually my liver is a little bit weak, and that's where the liver, when the liver qi is not balanced, you tend to get really angry, frustrated. You want to move, you have this restless energy, but you're scattered. You not move with precision. You just move randomly, haphazardly, right? And then you feel depleted by doing all different things, but they're not really organized action. So I immediately booked my doctor and I have my usual herbal Chinese medicine made and to strengthen my physical body. And second thing I do is to do exercise that generates heat, because that represents the fire element. Okay, so I move, I run, because fire depletes the wood element. Of course, depends on what is your clashing element. The strategy might be different, but for all of you who has Rooster in your chart, not necessarily have to be in the day pillar. If it is in the year pillar, if it is in the month pillar, or if it is in the hour pillar, you might feel things differently. And as we have learned in module 2, depends where the rooster is located, you'll be able to interpret it. For example, if the rooster is located in the year pillar, in March, the clash is probably most likely to happen within your family or social circle. You might have a little conflict with your friend unwittingly, or you post something on Facebook and then someone just took it the wrong way. This is likely how the energy works. If it is located in the month pillar, the frustration or anxiety and this restless energy might lie within the career or your job, with your boss, with your co-workers. And if it is in the hour pillar, as we have learned in module 6, that probably is not a good time for you to invest or purchase a house, because it's a clash month. It's clash with your hour pillar, and investment decision might not be sound. Okay, so this is how you actually deduce how each clash would actually apply to you. And just on this point, actually, you can use the clash positively towards your life as well. So clash means changes, right? What I should be doing, or actually I am starting to do, is to focus on looking for a place that I can move. When there is a clash energy, it means movement, right? So clash month can be a very, very good time to move. So that is actually a good thing to focus on. So once I know that, I felt instantly better. And then I start to work on my emotional scales. And as you know, when you are stressed or when you feel anger and frustration, that is not a high vibrational state that you want to be in. So the goal is to move up your emotional ladder from anger, frustration, impatience, and irritation to a higher emotional scale, such as contentment, hopefulness, optimism. And then you can continue to move up to positivity, eagerness, happiness, passion, and then to joy. So the final goal is to lean into joy. May that be people or events or things you do that evoke this feeling of joy. And this is precisely what I'm doing. This brings me joy to talk to you guys. It brings me joy to be connected with you. Just a very quick recap is, if you are feeling in this negative space, going through the anger, frustration, irritation, impatience, feels things is not working out at the moment, and you're going through this clash month or any month, whenever you're in that emotional space, here are the techniques that I want you to remember. Is number 1 is to be aware. Number 2 is to strengthen the self. And number 3 is to lean into joy. Okay, so this is something I really felt compelled, want to come in here to share with you guys. And I also want to share this vulnerable moment with you guys. We can strengthen this spiritual muscle in a very, very gentle yet devoted way. And I believe that when we do it together, it is so much more powerful.